Thank you. Bob?
Very good. Mr. O'Brien, let's talk for a minute about gateways to the city and first impressions. And 14th Street is certainly one of the gateways to from the south. There's been a lot of improvement in the last year or so. There's some improvements in the medians. But what can we do to hurry that up? What can we do to improve that corridor more quickly and to improve the retail along that, or the business along that street?
Well, there are a couple ideas. First of all, about gateways. One of the things that you don't realize some of the times is when you arrive in Bradenton. And we're a great town, a great city, and we should be proud of when people are coming and going from Bradenton. And I think the term gateways applies also to welcoming people. There are cities that, when they're trying to put themselves on the map as a destination, have these great canvas signs, showing that you've arrived in Bradenton. I do believe we need to put ourselves on the map, and that can be done very inexpensively in a budget-neutral way. The 14th Street corridor is part of the overall plan of what needs to be done to develop the area downtown. Now, there are many communities that need just as much attention as the downtown. One of the things that we just spoke about was the connection between the Village of the Arts, the Main Street, and the waterfront. And that hasn't happened yet. It's still not really walkable. And they've discussed, and there have been presentations about Artisan Avenue, and that's all well and good. But these are plans, and we need to start executing some of these plans quicker. We need to first start with signage, second start with walkability. And walkability isn't just having a few signs, it's having those kiosks, having information kiosks with flyers and maps and other information booths and ways for people to find their way around and see what's in Bradenton. That's where I am.
Mr. Roff, same question.
Thank you. I'm very proud of the fact that one of the things I was able to get myself into in 2007 was the prestigious Design Institute over in Abacoa, where they allow four elected officials to come in and bring a study in. And we spend several days working over it. This is completely free. They spend several days working over a plan, reanalyzing with some of the top plan planners in the state of Florida. I brought in the Tamiami Tomorrow study, which was done in 2004, adopted in 2005, and has a concrete plan on how to adopt and turn around the Tamiami Trail area. The study, we had engineers come over. I had 3 engineers come over and look at the area. They said, "You guys nailed it. You were right on the money. This plan is completely doable." They were blown away by the Village of the Arts. They said that this is done everywhere in the state and it hardly ever works. How do you guys pull this off? These plans take time. It takes 10 years to get something done in the city and in any form of government. We've been working on Wears Creek for 30 years now, and we're just getting ready to start it. 10 years is not that long in the lifeline of a city. The DDA has been very good about working with the Tamiami Tomorrow study. We've acquired probably some of the biggest problem properties that are on Tamiami Tomorrow. The Manatee Ends, bulldozing that was a huge success. Anyone that remembers 14th Street 10 years ago and what it is today would have to admit that we've come a long way. One of the things that I'm most proud of that we most recently done was there is a perception that there's crime on 14th Street. It's not there. The police department has worked very aggressively to clean it up. It used to be there. There used to be drugs and prostitutes, but it's not there anymore. We now have a police substation, and I've worked closely with the DDA to bring that in there to turn around and to break that perception that there's crime there. We now have police cars shopping in and out of there, and I believe that is a long way to start on what we have left to do.
Thank you, gentlemen. That concludes our questioning tonight. I would like to offer you both a closing statement of 2 minutes. Mr. Roff, you're first.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be a public servant. Service goes a long way in my family. All my brothers and I were Boy Scouts. I believe that I serve God by serving my community and my country. I'm very proud of the work that I have done. It's been for the most part, it's been trying to find revenue from outside sources. I'm very proud of the work that I've done on the Wears Creek issue. This is, as I mentioned before, this is a 30-year issue. From the second I came into office, I noticed that one of the problems was without a DEP permit, we were not going to be able to proceed to the next step. In January of 2006, one of the first things I did was I went to the brand new offices in Tampa to work with the DEP and try to get that permit. In April of this year, April 14th to be exact, 3 years and 4 months, I was able to obtain the permit that allowed us to start that project that people have been trying to get for 27 years. Right now, we have a total to start that project. The county now owns the old City Hall site by friendly eminent domain. The original buyers will get that back. That was a land deal that the city brokered. We have right now $12 million from the federal government, which is more than enough to start the phases 1 and 2. That's enough money in the bank right now from the federal government to conduct phases 1 and 2. The Congress right now is ready to appropriate another $5.4 million, which will take us to the next point. Since I've been in office, we've acquired $15.5 million from the state of Florida. That's $32.9 million that we collectively, and I've worked very, very hard with these groups, with the city, with the county, with the state. I have an excellent relationship with federal and state officials, and I believe that this is imperative for Ward 3 that this project goes through. It's also important to continue forth the Tamiami Trail study. My plan to revitalize Ward 3 is those 2 studies and as an economic development front. And I'll tell you right now, with the homes that we have, the properties that we have, and the trees in that area, it can't help but turn that area around.
Mr. O'Brien.
Sure, I think what we've seen is part of why I think there's a problem. I think almost everybody understands that there is a lot of crime on 14th Street. In the Central Corridor. Just a few weeks ago, Music was broken into and completely cleaned out of their inventory. That's a block off US 41. Just 8 or 9 months ago on 12th Avenue, there was a homicide, right? Just a few blocks off of US 41. There is a problem with crime in this community, and there is a problem with crime on 14th Street. The second thing, we were talking about the 14th Avenue, the 14th Street corridor and the plans. You know, I do respect the DDA and they do excellent work, but they've paid $2.5 million for a property that they're trying to turn around and sell for $550,000. There are problems with the amount of spending that's going on in the city and that they're not being spent. The money is not being spent on the proper things. If you feel that crime is down, that crime is not so much of a problem in Bradenton, then I think you probably have to vote for my opponent because this is his view. But I believe there is a problem with crime. I believe it's been high for some time and it's getting higher. And the calls, just the sheer number of calls that the police department are facing is daunting, and they need help. I believe also that we have a huge problem with jobs and job creation. We need to be discussing this at the city council level. By not discussing it at the city council level, it compounds the problem. We have to have a comprehensive plan for jobs and job creation. The economy and after-school programs for kids that I didn't get too much of a chance to talk about tonight are issues that normal, everyday people care about. Now the environment in West Creek are very important, but these are kind of provincial, kind of smaller issues, or at least the West Creek issue is. The larger issue that if you believe that there's a problem with crime, there's a problem with jobs, there's a problem with the economy right now, and they need addressing, then I'm your candidate, Richard O'Brien. You need to vote for me, or at least it would be a good idea to vote for me because I'll get in there and I'll do something about it. That's why I'm running. That's what I'll do. And I'd like to thank METV. I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters. And I would also like to thank the Bradenton Herald for having us here tonight. Thank you.
I'm afraid we're out of time for this session. Thank you, candidates, for attending. And good luck in the election. Please stand by for our next forum on Ward 4 for Bradenton City Council, coming right up after a short break.